In this video, we're going to cover the manifest weight and balance, or takeoff manifest request. You get there from the pre-flight menu on 4 left. On this manifest page, we don't have a send indicator. The yellow indicates either missing required data or just a warning or indication. In this particular case, the release flight for this fuel is 19,186. The calculated takeoff fuel is 18,820. In this revision of the takeoff request, you can override this takeoff fuel. This takeoff fuel number should be a number entered that you expect to leave the runway with. We've taken the release fuel and minused out what the planned taxi fuel is, but if yours is significantly more or less than that, or you want to change that, you can do that here on 4 right and change that takeoff fuel. So if we know we're going to have a long wait or have to de-ice, I can change that, for example, to 17,400 pounds and enter that here, and that will be used now in our takeoff calculation for our fuel. Required items to send a takeoff manifest: runways, and I have cleared the runways from our previous video where we did a max takeoff request, but you have to have at least 1 runway. You can get there on 5 left, so I'm going to enter 12 left again, and 1 2 right, and then I'm just going to return. Well, if I can get 12 right entered and return, it'll take me back to the manifest page, and you can see now that runways is in white. I can still get there, but that has been satisfied now, and that's gone from yellow to white. The passwords. For this example, only one of the crew has activated on their EFB. This is an EAML aircraft in this example. So if I click 1 right, it takes me back to the initialize page, and you can see only the captain has a valid password. So I'm going to, in this case, enter a password to satisfy that requirement. But in the case of an EAML aircraft, the FO would just need to activate, and then if you return to the manifest, the passwords requirement is gone. It's no longer yellow. So if you're sitting on this page and you're in an electronic maintenance log aircraft, just activate the missing crew member, and the takeoff's requirement will be satisfied. On the passenger and crew page, we'll enter passengers. I'm going to put 10 and 2 in zone D, 11 and 1 in E, and 8 in F. Your laps here on 4 right. Flight attendants facing forward is the first one, and facing aft is here, and those default to 1 and 1. So if you're missing a flight attendant, you can enter it here. On our newer aircraft, we now have a cabin observer jump seat as well. The ACM is still here. Now that this is a 2-part entry. The cabin observer jump seat will be showing up on some of the new Delta aircraft. Some of the existing Alaska aircraft we've taken from Horizon have that. The selection is here. Now, whether that seat is authorized on the aircraft yet or not, if you do you will see that selection on the pin pad, the COJ or cabin observer jump seat on the pin pad you get from the flight attendant when you enter the numbers. In this particular example, then we're going to put one ACM and one cabin observer jump seat. If I had no ACM and one cabin observer jump seat occupied, I'd enter it like that, and vice versa. If I had a ACM and no cabin observer jump seat occupied, I would do that. Now zero it back out. That's the PAX crew main page. Now, in the case of charters and other things, there's a non-standard page. If I go to this page, this allows me to enter the total weight for each zone. Non-standard passenger weight loading is here. So whatever numbers I put in here, it's going to override the calculation for adults and children and use this as the total weight in each zone. You still need to enter the numbers because we need counts, but you override the weight calculation on this non-standard page. So if I go back to the manifest now, you can see the PAX and crew goes from yellow to white, meaning it's been satisfied. It totals up what you've entered on that PAX and crew page for adults, children, infants, total crew for total souls on board of 72. The bags and cargo. As you can see on this page, we've got forward and aft, and the only thing that is required is standard bags in the front. However, you can enter standard, heavy, plain side, ballast, and all other cargo other than bags or ballast should be here in 5 left for the forward and 5 right for the back. So I'm going to enter some numbers here and be right back. Alright, I'm using an actual flight for the example, and in this particular load they had 42 standard bags and 2 heavy. Return to the manifest page. I also adjusted the PAX and crew to match. So we've got 10 and 2, 11 and 1, 9 and 3, 16, 12, and we've also got 12 in the back, and both flight attendants on board, and so that recalculates to 70 adults, 6 children, no infants, 4 crew, so 80 total souls on board. I also adjusted the takeoff fuel to match this particular request. So once everything's been satisfied, again, the fuel is this indicates that you've your release fuel is 19,186. You've entered 19,250 for your takeoff fuel. Your current fuel on board is right here, and that's why you get this indication of check FOB. Once your current fuel on board is at least 90% of your release fuel, this check fuel will just turn to FOB. This will turn green. Your release fuel will also turn green, and the yellow will all be satisfied. That's not required yet because you're sending the takeoff fuel to request the manifest. We'll do that by sending here on 6 right, and I'm going to pause the video and simulate the return, takeoff data return. So once we've sent our takeoff request, waiting for the data return, if we're on the manifest page, you'll see the scratch pad show takeoff data received and then immediately flash off, because if you're on this page it'll clear that scratch pad message. However, the takeoff data indicates that we've received takeoff data, and now that we've received data we can make changes and send again. You can select and view the takeoff data from the manifest page. It's also on the pre-flight page here under takeoff data, where we it takes you to the same place. So if we go back to the manifest page, look at the takeoff data from here. You've got your takeoff data, in this case just 4 pages, can be up to 9 and even in some cases 10 pages of takeoff data. Again, from any page you can print, but it'll print all the pages to your printer. We're on page 404. If I hit next again, I just toggle back around. And again, on the weight and manifest or manifest weight and balance page, I can make any adjustments. And when you do get at least 90% of your release fuel in the tanks, these yellow indications will go away as well. So that's the takeoff manifest request. Thanks for watching.